Hey there everybody, and welcome back to Wax Nostalgic. I thought I'd do something a little different, something that I don't really do enough of. Part of it is just I don't necessarily think about it as much, and then also admittedly there's some like hesitation to show off cards from my collection. There's always fear that like what I have isn't measuring up to like what others show, but that's silly. The hobby is to be enjoyed, and I enjoy seeing other cards that people have in their collection that aren't, the same typical big hits. While those are great, your amazing, awesome vintage and things like that, I thought I'd show off some of the things that I've acquired recently, added to my collection, maybe because they're from a set that I like or just a player that I really like. So there's nothing like extremely phenomenal in here, but I thought it would be fun to show off some things. So first off is something that was sent to me in a TCDB trade. I've been doing that a lot lately, and I really enjoyed connecting, and this was a little something extra that somebody threw in. So I love to collect Cecil Fielder cards, and so they sent me this that I was unaware of. This is a extra bases card. It's Fleer. It's from '94, and I was unfamiliar with this. I didn't know this set existed, and they happened to throw in just this extra, and it's fantastic. I enjoy kind of oddly sized cards and something a little out of the norm. So I think this Cecil Fielder card is really cool. Kind of along the same lines as the bookmark cards, or even just an old basketball tall boy. So really cool. Really glad to add that to collection. And then next up is something I remember having one of these randomly somehow when I was a kid. Don't know where it came from, but I also, like a lot of people, really like, respect, and enjoy Minnie Minoso. So I got this in a trade, and I thought they're interesting. It's an action-packed Minnie Minoso. So this is 92, yeah, 92, and I had one of these, not Minnie Minoso, but just some other player. They're embossed, so they kind of give a little 3D effect, and definitely very gimmicky, but they were throwing all the gimmicks at us in 1992, and kind of similar to now. But I just thought with the black, the gold, I thought this was just a really good looking card, and it was just an easy thing to get in a trade because they're really cheap. And so yeah, happy to add that. Next up, one that's really cool. So a set that came out last year, but I was not aware when it came out, so I didn't become aware of it until after it was all like sold out or whatever. But one of my things that I love are stadium clubs, and part of the reason I love stadium club cards is because of the photography. And so a set that I became aware of from last year was the Topps Black and White release. So it's a small checklist relatively, and so I've been working on that set, and I'm pretty close, but there are a number of parallels because of course there are. But I thought this one looked really nice. It's numbered out of 49. It's Darryl Strawberry. This is the blue variation, so you get that great color match with the Mets. Just really cool. And I actually picked this up off of the Cooperstown, the Hall of Fame website, and I just was looking at it, and I realized that they sold cards, and I thought, wow, I think I paid $6. Yeah, $6. Very cool, numbered to 49, blue parallel, Darryl Strawberry. So fantastic photography. I really like the actual texture on these cards. It's not glossy, it's like a matte finish. So the whole set is really stunning. So I'm pretty close. I probably about 20 cards short of the base set. Then there's a couple of insert sets, but I've made good progress on those too. So really happy to pick that up. See here, and then another one. So my return to the hobby was because of the 24 Heritage, and so I had picked up a box of that, and so I'm still plugging away at that set. I'm very close. I think I'm missing two or three cards from the high series, and then just finishing out the basic insert sets to get those all knocked out. But I also enjoy getting the buyback cards. So any buyback card really I enjoy, but whenever I see one from the 24 Heritage, the 1975 cards, I always try to pick those up. So I've got, I don't know, maybe a page of them so far. But this is one that I actually had my eye on eBay for quite some time. The price was a little high, and there would be other things that, I was going after instead. So I kept watching it, but then I started getting scared that it was going to disappear. So I had been watching it a little more intently over the past month or two, and the price got lowered by $10. So I didn't hesitate. I went ahead and picked it up, and I think this is just, it's a great card from the 1975 set. I mean, a lot of people that collect will have seen this card at least. The photo is great. The composition is great. And that is the Vita Blue. Just a great shot. And the stamp's in a pretty good place. And this was just a great looking card. And for a 1975, it's not horribly off center, so that's cool. Just helps it, frame up a little nice. But yeah, so these are, I really enjoy basically any of these, but this one so far is my favorite. Definitely the favorite that I have, but maybe just composition wise and the photography, just maybe the best looking one in my opinion. So very excited to have that and add that to my collection. And another card just because it looks cool. So another player that I don't know, 4th, 5th tier, lower tier player that I don't chase a ton of cards, but whenever I get one, I keep it and I add it to my collection because I think it's got an interesting story. When I was a kid, I always thought it was cool because he clearly had like a nickname on a lot of his cards. And I listened to the 1988 Topps podcast a while back. In one of their episodes, they covered this player, and I thought he had an interesting story. And then I got this card recently out of a pack, maybe? Can't remember. But it's cool. And that's the Dennis Oil Can Boyd. This is on Leaf. So yeah, he's got the satin jacket, he's got the towel, glasses, just oozing cool. So very glad to add that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I picked up one of these maybe, and then I actually pack pulled one like off camera. So very cool, very happy to add that. Just makes me feel good to see. All right, so what next? Oh, this one, another player that I collect. So if I'm being honest, when I got back into the hobby last year, this was a player that I was unfamiliar with, but when I pulled his card out of a pack, it just struck me. I thought it was a cool looking card, good photo, but it was Jazz Chisholm, who at the time played for the Marlins. And if I'm being full on honest, not knowing anything about the player, I was like, whoa, I love jazz music. This guy's name is Jazz. I like this guy. And so now I know more about him. I pay attention. I think he's a fun young player to watch. To me, he's kind of along the same, type of player like a Ellie De La Cruz, who's from Cincinnati here. Very exciting. I think they're very exciting, very fun to watch, fun young players. So I got a really good deal on this, if I remember correctly. Got it on eBay, and it's numbered to 50, and it's this Jazz Chisholm and Ichiro memorabilia cards. So I thought that's really cool. I mean, you gotta love Ichiro, and you got Jazz on there. I have no shame, and that I am a sucker for pretty much any relic card, so I will almost always pick them up, especially if they're cheap. I don't know if I would say that that one was like cheap. It wasn't expensive. It was certainly within my budget, so it wasn't expensive. But I felt like it was a good deal, and it was a card I didn't want to pass up. So I think that's a very, very cool card. Another very cheap card of a player that is just interesting. I think a lot of people in baseball, in the hobby, also, feel that this is just this guy is definitely not boring, and this is an all-star game from 2025. It's the Bartolo Colon on the little rainbow foil board there. Thought this is a cool looking card, really cheap, very easy to add this to the collection. I got a binder with pages dedicated to just players that I like or respect, and they get like a page, maybe two in a couple of cases. So I figure this will be added to the Cologne pages. Just a fun card. And next up, a really cool card, something I recently discovered when I was, again, like digging around on Trading Card Database. Has just been super fun. Find out about all sorts of stuff that I didn't know of. And this is from 2011. Yeah, 2011, Allen and Ginter. And I'm already a sucker for the mini cards. And this is from the Flora of the World series. Little insert. And it's one of the actual seed cards. So you can plant this card and it will grow this flower. Spurred Snapdragon. So you can see the seeds embedded in the card there. I don't think the seller on eBay, I think they had this maybe mistakenly listed as the standard version and not the seed version, because it was very, very cheap. There weren't a lot of them on eBay at the time, and they were certainly more than this. But it's a fascinating, quirky, little interesting card. And for a great price, just kind of a little oddity in my collection. So very happy to add that. So another set that I've opened, haven't opened any in a while because I don't really have any more, because I opened them all on the channel. But another set that I'm working on is Panini Golden Age. I'm working on, I really, especially when they did it in 2012, 13, and 14. The 12 and 13 series, I think, look great. The 14, not so much, but I'll probably loosely collect that at some point. But 2012 has been the main focus, and I'm very close to completing that. And so I will also grab the occasional relic, or whatever when I can find one cheap. So there's a seller on eBay, and this was a rare, good experience for an eBay thing. So as a seller that I'd ordered from before, was always happy with. And so they had, there's an insert set for the 2012 Golden Age, which are basically, the batter's up, so they're like pop-up cards. I think they look great. They're fantastic. It's a 20 card insert set, maybe 25. Anyway, this seller had a complete set for, you know, I don't know, $20, I think it was. And I was like, awesome. So I picked that up, and then the seller had a lot of other like inserts and things from Golden Age, and a couple of the relics that he had, memorabilia cards. I was like, oh man, I really like those too. So great prices. Again, I had ordered from the seller before, and so I ordered them. 2 months go by and nothing has arrived yet. They've shipped. They made it to, they were coming from out west, California, I believe. They had made it to Indianapolis like 3 or 4 days after the seller shipped them, and then nothing. So I'd been waiting about a month. I went to the post office and I said, can you tell me anything about this? And they were like, oh, they're just slow in Indianapolis right now, but they're not lost. So I'm like, okay. So another couple weeks go by. Finally, I just messaged the seller and I say, hey, just to let you know, these have still not arrived. Not your fault. You shipped them. Clearly something's going on with the post office. Still, I wait and wait another couple of weeks, and I had another card that I'd ordered from a different seller arrive, and it was trashed. Like, it was in one of the "we care about your package" because the envelope was shredded. The card got messed up, so that was very disappointing. But it looked like this had happened, and then also something my wife had ordered, some completely other thing, had also been stuck for a while in Indianapolis. I guess it turns out that Indianapolis facility was in the process of moving facilities or something. So I don't know, it was slow and things were getting messed up. So the seller messages me and says, hey, have those arrived yet? I said, no, man, I'm sorry. And a really cool thing, the seller was like, well, the batter's up. I think I have multiple sets of. Let's give it another couple weeks. If they don't show up, I'll send you another set, which is phenomenal. The seller doesn't have to do that. And I'm like, okay, man, you don't have to do that. He's like, unfortunately, I might have another copy of one of the patch cards that you ordered, but I don't know. And I'm like, I get it, man. So almost a couple weeks goes by, and then finally, out of nowhere, the original package shows up again in another one of those "we care about your package" things, and this thing is shredded. And I'm like, oh no. So I open it up, and it genuinely looked like it had been run over by like a truck or a forklift or something. Like, I used to work in a freight thing, and so this is damage that I've seen before. And I'm like, this either got stuck in a conveyor system, but I think it got ran over, literally. So I take it out, and like half of the batters up cards are really messed up. Now, I'm not insane about condition, you know, like if something is a little dinged or whatever, I'm cool with it. It's fine. But I would say like almost all of them had some sort of issue, but I would say at least 10 of them, I was like, man, this sucks. And then the top loaders that the memorabilia cards were sent in were like just shattered. All the pieces were still in the bag. And they had came out a little better, but I think one of them had like a dent in it. So I messaged the guy and I'm like, hey, you wouldn't believe it, they finally showed up. And I sent him pictures of the packages before I even opened it, just like, yeah, this stuff's really messed up. So awesomely, the guy's like, let me know which of the batters up cards were dinged, and I'll see if I can send you some replacements for those. I'm like, okay, man, I really appreciate that. If you want me to cover shipping or anything, just let me know. And I didn't hear anything back. And I thought, well, you know, I didn't have my hopes up. But no, man, out of nowhere, the package showed up. They never messaged me, never let me know that they had shipped it. And they shipped me an entire complete set of the batters up cards. So I thought that was really cool, a really stand-up stand-up move by the seller. So I really appreciate that. So anyway, very long story short. These are the 2 memorabilia cards just because I thought they looked great. And it's a Dave Parker and a Bill Madlock. I like that we get the pinstripe there. So really cool. I really like these cards. And I think these, you know, nice to not just have a basic white swatch, but you can see there's a little damage there. And honestly, yeah, the Madlock, yeah, you can see it there. It's basically like a dent that runs down that side, but I'm not too picky about that. For me, it's about the front and the look of the card. So I thought that was really cool. And then, let's see here. Last, because we're at 20 minutes now, holy cow. Last month in June, I went to local card show in Xenia, Ohio. Great stuff, and don't see these very often, so when I do, if they're a price I can afford, I pick it up. And it's one of the 1948 Leaf Knockout boxing cards. I love these cards. This is Bo Jack. I think they probably could have got a better picture of him, but I love it. Love it. Got a great deal on this. Really great deal. And this is pretty nice. I have 3 other from the Knockout series. And this one's the registration's really nice. The white is still pretty nice and white. My other ones have yellowed more. But yeah, great looking card. All right. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for looking at my recent show-offs. Thank you guys. I will see you next time.